Hello and welcome back everybody. My name is Tatsibao and I will explain how this game is gonna work before we actually hit the unpause button in the next episode. So, this is the main screen, this is what the game looks like in general, and this is not going to change a lot. If you think this kind of view is dead boring, feel free to watch something else. So, the first thing we should address is this button. This button gives us access to our country management screen, which has many different tabs and options. So we are going to see this screen or any other tab in this screen a lot. This here, however, is the map where we can see and zoom and stuff. So basically, if we zoom out completely, we see the names of the big major countries, while smaller countries are not even mentioned by name. If we zoom in, we can see and read the names of those smaller countries like Lu'u or Sunda or Siak or something. And if we zoom in even further, those names disappear, and instead we can read the names of the individual provinces. Alright, over here we see our army and two fleets, two fleets, and we do see a fort in our main province. This fort has a crown, which means this is our capital fort. And this protects this province from being taken too quickly. Alright, we see some advice that there are decisions or actions that can or should be taken. We see some info here and some info there and some info here. So what is all of this? This is country management stuff. So the top bar has our treasury, our money, and gives us some hint if we gain or lose money every month. So right now we have like 90 ducats, I think. That's the currency, alright, and we gain 3.64 ducats every month. That is very good. We can, if we hover the mouse over this icon, we see here's a plus, that means we gain money. If we lose money, that's a red minus. And we see where we get our money from, and how we lose money. So we get money by taxation, that is fixed income by province. We get money by production, that is stuff that gets produced in our provinces, and we get money by trade, that is things that come into our country and things that we sell. We are going to come back to this because this is very important. Right now trade is like, I'd say, 40%, give or take, of our income. This is going to be a lot more important. There is army and fleet maintenance. We can have some influence on these values. However, we're going to come back to this too. We see here our manpower. This is important. Our army here has 10k, that's 10,000 soldiers right now, and should we deplete this army, we have enough manpower in reserve to completely rebuild everything. Okay, this manpower has a cap, that means I can't have more manpower in reserve than about 16,000 men, and every month my force pool, my reserve pool, is increased by 129 men. That is good. Okay, stability here. Stability is the value that influences how stable our nation is. That means how likely rebels or pretenders are going to spawn, how efficient our administration is and stuff. This is very important. This value should not drop below 0 and should be kept as high as possible. The highest value is +3. This is our prestige. Come on, this is our prestige. Right now we have about 4 or 5 prestige points, and prestige fades over time. The more prestige we have, the more successful we are at trading, at commanding armies, and navies, and the better diplomacy is and stuff. This is our legitimacy. That's the value that indicates our right to sit on the throne. So if we are of dubious birth and nobody knows who our mother or our father is, this value will be pretty low. High legitimacy is important for having a stable reign. The lower our legitimacy is, the more people will be interested in rebelling against us, and the more difficult it is to keep our population in check. This is our power projection. This means how much we can prove that we can enforce our claims. We are going to come back to this, obviously. Over here are people we can manage. That's a merchant who is influential in trading. This is a colonist that can colonize unclaimed provinces like these here. These are not yet claimed, and I can send colonists once I have them to make these territories my territories. Then there are diplomats that I can send to other nations, and to declare war, to make peace, to fabricate claims, to forge alliances and stuff. And this is a missionary that I can send to a province that is of a different religion and convert it to my religion. This works for provinces that I own. So let's, for example, go here. This is the world map. The known world is this stuff, obviously, and I can change the way the map looks. For example, religious. This shows us which country has which religion where. For example, should I conquer, say, this territory? This is a Sunni province, while my nation is a Hindu nation. So I could send a missionary here that would start converting this province to my religion. Right now I don't need to do this because my country is unified in religious aspects. Okay. Below are 3 very, very, very important values. This is administrative power, diplomatic power, and military power. I need these powers to, for example, research new technology. I need like 900 something points to advance my technology in each branch. Or I need some diplomatic power to fire some choices. I need administrative power to influence my provinces or my realm, and you will see the importance of those powers during the course of this series. Now below you see some advice that there are some serious choices that I need to make. For example, this one. I have too few rivals. And if I click on this one, this screen here opens. You can see different countries and how good our relation to these countries are. You see our ruler here, the ruler of the country that we have selected. If we click on this country, we see another country with another ruler, how good they are and stuff. But if we come back to this one, this icon tells me that I need to pick a rival because I don't have enough rivals or any at all. So let's click on the rival button. Oh, before I do that, I see I have an enemy here. Enemies are countries that have chosen me as the rival they want to fight against. And this is our enemy. This is our neighbor nation, Sunda. So a good idea would be to pick them as our rival. If I do that, what does it say? I am more likely to get alliances with the enemies of my rival. If I have them as my rival, I get more prestige from defeating them in battle. I get no trade efficiency penalty when embargoing. What that means I'm going to explain later in this episode. My spies are more efficient against them, and it's less costly to demand provinces from them. We're going to see this at, I'd say, the end of next episode, how exactly that works. For now, we are going to pick Sunda, our neighbor here, as our rival. Okay, let's go with this one. So, next we see that we have a free advisor slot. Let's have a look at this one. This opens our government tab, and over here we see that we are a kingdom, a despotic monarchy. Later on in the game we can click this button and change our government to some other form of government. This is however not possible yet. I need some advanced technology for that, and I need 100 administrative points for that. So this would be like one form of investing my administrative powers. Okay. We see some buffs that we have because of our government type, and this is the ruler who currently controls our kingdom. This is Maharani Suhita Rasasanagara. She has some values. We see she has a 1 in administrative skill, 1 in military skill, and 2 in diplomatic skill. This is a subpar ruler, I dare say. Not so good, but could be worse. Could be worse means our heir over here, that is Kertaville, whoever. He is 15 years old, he has a strong claim to our throne, and he is a pretty bad character. He is less capable than our subpar ruler right now. So a good thing would be if our heir would die and we could get another one. Okay, however, we came to this screen because we have free advisor slots. So we can click here and get an advisor for administration. That is these 3 people I can choose from. And I'm going to pick this advisor because he gives us yearly inflation reduction. How this works we will see later on in the next episode. Let us just say this would be good for what I'm planning on the road ahead. I'm going to get some inflation and he will reduce it. For diplomacy I can choose from these 3, and I'm going to take the trader. He gives us plus 10% in trade efficiency. How this works exactly we will see later in this episode. And I'm not going to take a military advisor because these people are expensive. I need to be able to sustain my balance in the treasury, and right now I can't afford to pick a military advisor. Each of these costs 1 ducat per month, and administrative and diplomatic powers are more important than military power in the course of the game. Military power is important too, but not as important. And these show me how much power I have, how much power I gain, and I can choose administrative power as a national focus that gives us +2 in this power and reduces these powers by 1, and that's a given. I'm going to choose this one because, as I said, I will need more of this than of this. Okay, so I'm not going to choose a military advisor, so this icon is gonna stay. Also, I have this mission icon. I can choose from the missions that are given here. I can choose to improve my prestige, that if I can pull that off, I gain +1 stability. That is a very good thing. However, I have to reach 50 prestige, and right now that is not likely. More important is the second mission over here, Conquer Cirebon. That's this province, this one. That's a neighboring province currently controlled by our neighbor and rival and enemy Sunda. So conquering this one, weakening our neighbor, is a very good idea. So we are definitely going to do this. Thank you very much. If we can pull that off, we get manpower recovery improved by 10%. So the currently in 129 each month would be increased by 10%, and we get +1 prestige every year. So that's a good thing. This is something I want to do. So I'm going to click this. So now we see we have a mission, we have an objective, and we have a reward. And that's the first thing I want to pursue in the next video. Down here are national decisions that I can take later on. For example, our goal is to form Malaya. For this I need to control, what is that? 5 provinces: Demak, Kalapa, Banten, I think, yeah, and Pakwan. Pakwan is this one. So I need to control provinces on this island. Should happen rather quickly, and then one of those conditions must be true. I need to have Borneo, Malay, or Sumatra. So that's Borneo, Malay, or Sumatra. I need 2 of those 3, and I think that's gonna be 1, 2. Yeah, and if I can pull that off, I can form Malaya. So yeah, that would be very good. I get permanent claims on territory over here, and I can conquer the rest that I want to own more easily. Alright, but that's far ahead. That's the goal that I want to meet in this Let's Play, and if I should pull that off, who knows what's gonna happen. I don't know, maybe we're gonna westernize or something. I have not planned so far ahead. Next thing, I have no current deity. That's in the religion tab. We are a Hindu nation, which means that we are of Hindu faith, obviously. Hinduism is a religion that has many gods that can be worshipped, but we can pick one deity to worship especially. and we can pick one. There are 6 that can be picked. So every deity gives some bonuses. So we should think which bonus is important for us. And since I want to expand militarily very quickly, I will pick Shiva, because she gives us lower core creation cost, and she lowers our aggressive expansion impact. What does that mean? Okay, core creation cost. Every province that I currently own has a core from my nation on that province, which means that my country considers these territories as part of their nation, inseparable from the idea of our nation. However, neighboring provinces don't have our cores on them, but rather cores of their specific nation. If I conquer, for example, Cirebon, I will get this province, but Sunda will keep a core on that province, which means rebels of their nation are likely to spawn. They can start a war with me without suffering negative events or consequences from declaring war. And I should make this one to make this one a core province. I need to invest administrative power so I can integrate newly conquered territories more easily, and I definitely want to do that. So I'm going to select Shiva as my deity. Yes, thank you. Alright, and then I see this. What is it? You have claims on provinces that you do not own. So, because I picked the mission that I did, I got a claim on Cirebon. So that means that I can go to the diplomacy screen and declare war against Sunda. And I can say I want to take Cirebon and I will not suffer any negative consequences. If I would go to Siak, and I would say I want to declare war, I can do this. I can declare war against anybody. But I don't have a valid casus belli, that is a reason for war. So I will suffer a hit on my stability, which will throw my country into chaos. And I will gain war exhaustion, which will make my country more rebellious. So if I'd do that, I would suffer terrible consequences. However, having a claim or a core on a neighboring on a foreign province allows me to go to war without those negative consequences. So this is what we're going to do next episode, declaring war. Okay, there are screens that I have not yet explained. So we've been here, check, we've been here, where we have, we have been here. These are diplomatic options. I will explain those during the course of the next episode. This is the economy screen. This is very important. Here we can see an overview where money comes from and where it disappears. We get money from different sources: taxation, production, and trade. And we see where money disappears. We have 2 advisors. They cost us 1 ducat each month each. And we spend money on army maintenance and fleet maintenance. We can modify how much we actually do want to spend. We can cut expenses in half, which would mean that the fighting ability of our army or navy would suffer dramatically. If they fight with 50% pay, they will just die instantly. So reducing pay is a good option for peacetime, when I do not want to use my army but just keep them as a reserve power and move them into position. But it is disastrous if my army on half pay gets caught in a fight. Alright, trade. I will come back to this. This is the last thing that I want to talk about, because this is complex. Technology. There are 3 different technology branches: administrative, diplomatic, military, and these coincide with my 3 powers here. To advance one of those technologies, I need some investment. For example, for administrative technology, I need to have at least 958 administrative power that I would then need to invest to advance this technology. This will unlock some advances, some advantages. For example, I would be able to build a new type of building, and that would be the temple in this case. If I build a temple, I get more taxes out of the province that has a temple. Or I can build a marketplace if I research marketplace. Or here I would get better soldiers. They would just fight better. They get better modifieds. Alright, what else? Technology. Ideas. When I have researched administrative technology level 5, I can pick a new idea that will help me form my nation in a specific way. For example, I can pick an idea that allows me to colonize great provinces. And over here are Javan ideas that are ideas specific to my nation. If I advance my ideas, these idea options will advance as well. For example, I get improved religious unity, and then certain other bonuses. I will come back to this screen when this becomes more important. We've been here. Stability. Yeah, here you see which rebel factions there are. Currently there are none. I don't have any unrest in my country. This is very good. I'm not overextended. That would make my country more difficult to manage. Stability is at 0. To improve my stability, I need to invest 100 administrative power. I have no war exhaustion. Okay. We will come back to this screen when we have conquered something. The religion tab tells us that we are Hindu. We've been here. We see that we tolerate who? People of the Hindu faith. And we consider... who exactly? Can we see that? No. Yeah, we do not tolerate heretical or heathen beliefs. Alright, let's see. Yeah, Catholic, Orthodox, Coptic, blah blah blah, all those are heathen beliefs that we do tolerate a bit. Okay, moving on. Military. Here we see what kinds of units we have and how well we can fight. So every nation throughout the whole game can only build 7 different kinds of units. There is infantry regiments, cavalry regiments, and artillery. Those are 3 different kinds of units, unit classes. Let's put it this way. We can advance or change the type of infantry that we want to have, and once we unlock advanced technologies, our infantry becomes better. We have cavalry, but we do not yet have artillery. We will come back to this when this gets important. Also, we have 4 different classes of ships. We have transporters. Right now our transport ship is the Cog with a G. There are light ships that are basically cannon fodder, but they are more effective in enclosed waters like the Mediterranean or the Black Sea or the Baltic Sea. So that's seas that are enclosed by landmass. We don't have that here, which is why we will barely build any galley. There are barks that are light ships. They are good in combat. They are, as you can see, they carry cannons and they are effective in battle. But the more important use of those ships is they can project trade power. They can make our trade stronger. You can think of this as these ships protect our merchants and they harass other merchants. And there are warships, heavy ships. That's the early Carrack in this case. They carry more cannons and they have a greater hull, so they can tank more damage before they are sunk or something. Okay. And then we see some modifiers for tradition, naval and army tradition. The higher our tradition is, the better the commanders we can spawn. Our military tactics and discipline and defensiveness, this is modified by the technology level we have, and so is the siege ability, and right now we can put 20 regiments into one single fight. Okay, we don't have any forts, so that's good enough for now. The only thing I want to do in this screen is I want to make my heir a general. We can either recruit a general by spending military points, 50. We can make our ruler a commander, but our current ruler is a woman and we can't make female persons a general. We can make our heir a general, and there is a chance that he may die, and because our heir is a very weak ruler, that would be a rather good thing, because then we can maybe get a better general. This guy is a pretty good general actually. He will be very effective in leading the army, although he's not going to be an effective ruler. He has no points in firing, that is okay. My army does not yet have fire weapons like guns. He has good shock values, good maneuver and good siege abilities, so he will be quite effective in the upcoming campaign. Alright, anything else? I don't have any subjects yet. I will discuss this screen in the next episode or the one after. So, without further ado, let's go to trade, because this is important. Yeah, so we switch from political map mode to trade map mode, and we see this. And this is a good opportunity to discuss these things here. We can see what our 3 diplomats are doing, if they have a mission they are on, but now everybody is free. We can do with them whatever we want, and we will use them in the next episode. But we also have 2 merchants. One is sitting in the Philippines, and one merchant is free. So, what does that mean? You see, there are trade nodes. You see these names and colors, and these indicate different trade zones. And in every of these trade zones, there is trade going on, obviously. So, trade comes, let's say, from, which one do we want to pick? For example, here, Lhasa. Trade comes from Lhasa. That means goods are being produced in this trade region. All those goods are going to the trade center, the trade node, and some of this trade is converted into money, which the nations that have trade power in this trade node then collect. Trade power is modified by merchants, by light ships that are on a trade mission, and it is of course modified by how much produced trade, that is local trade power, you actually put into this trade node. And because this trade node is very far away, I hardly have any trade power in this trade node. Okay. And while some money is converted into income directly, some other trade power is passed down the line. So you see there are two trade routes leaving Lhasa. One goes to Kashmir, one goes to Chengdu. And if we zoom in, we see how much trade power leaves this trade node. So we can see that actually there is more money leaving this trade node than is actually collected here. Which means that this trade power that leaves Lhasa is gathered in the trade node in Chengdu. And again, if we check what is going on here, there is about 3 ducats local trade produced. 0.43 trade power is coming from outside, and 2.18 trade power is leaving this trade node, which means that 1.33 ducats can be collected here, or are being collected here by trade powers. That is, nations that have trade power in this node, in this trade node. Important for us is that our home port is in the Moluccas. Our capital is over here, and it belongs to the trade node of the Moluccas, which means that this is the trade node where we make our money, the mainstay of our money. So this is the trade node that is important for our nation. We want to push as much trade to this map node and collect it here. So let's have a look. There is +5 trade power produced here. There is some trade power outgoing. The value here is not correct because this has to do with the beginning of the game. If we wait until next month, this will clarify. And there is some retained trade value. That means 80% of the trade power in this map node is converted into money, into ducats, into monthly income. And the nations with the greatest trade power in this map node are Sunda, our neighbor, and us. And then come Makassar, Tidore, etc. So we see here who has how much trade power. Yeah. And we can order our free merchant to collect from trade to increase the portion that we collect from the trade. And this is something we should do. The other merchant is sitting in the Philippines, and there is no trade produced because the Philippines are right now not colonized at all, and no money is coming down the line from, say, Canton, so there is no trade power here. So this merchant is wasted right now. He does not do any good. So we will send him to Malacca to collect trade from there. This will not be very effective because we hardly have any trade power. Let's see. We hardly have any trade power here. Yeah. So no matter what we do, this other merchant won't be that effective. This will change later on, however. And we can use our fleet of light ships to improve our trade power in a trade node that is in our reach. And that will be the Moluccas, but for now we will not use our fleet for this purpose because we want to go to war. And that's what we are going to do in the next episode, when we will try to conquer our neighbor. So much for the interface. Let's see, let's check. Oh, right, this button moves me to the menu where I can build infantry, build units or hire mercenaries. I can build ships. I can make cores I can produce cores in provinces that I own but don't have a core yet. I can send missionaries. Yeah. Local autonomy. Yeah, I'm going to discuss this one sometime later. Change culture. Not gonna do this so far. To explain this one. Yeah, for example, Denmark is of Javanese culture. And so are the provinces of my neighbor. So we are one culture with our neighboring rival. However, on Borneo, the people there are Bornean, and in Sumatra, the people are of the Sumatran culture. And in Malacca, they are Malayan, then there are Central Thai, etc. So there are different cultures in the game, and I can use my power to convert, to spread accepted culture into provinces with different cultures. I can construct buildings if I have the money and the technology for that. And I can improve the development of provinces. I will do that later on. The more developed a province is, the more trade goods or tax or manpower I can collect from here. We are not going to do this right now. So I will end my episode here. Please tell me if my instructions are instructive, helpful. Please tell me if I forgot something or if I should explain something better. And if you do not like my series at all, yeah, it's okay if you don't subscribe or like my videos in this case. Okay, thanks for listening in. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode when we are actually going to unpause.